Okay, so my name is Helena. I'm the program coordinator for the program. So what that means is I take care of all the behind the scenes stuff. I make sure that instructors are hired and paid. I make sure that your guys' books are ordered. I deal with any software issues, room bookings for the live show. I book the theaters and stuff like that. So I'm like, honestly, I know very, very little about audio engineering and music production, but I know a lot about OC and about the internal processes. So that's why we have 3 people on board today, both Ryan and Logan as well, because they have taken and teach part of the program as well. So I will let Ryan go next. You can tell us who you are.
Okay, hey guys, and girls, I'm Ryan. I've been instructing now since 2017. I'm a previous graduate of this program as well as the business degree program here at OC. I focus on the business side of music as well as the electronic side of music. And when I say electronics, I don't mean electronic music. I mean the actual electronic hardware components themselves. So lots of things I can help you with is business strategies, as well as monetizing your own music, helping you gain employment, follow the self-employment route, or any of those pathways related. I've really liked being here, as well as seeing the program grow since I've been a student. And it's really cool to be a part of this as well and see what the new participants can bring to the table and what new trends are sort of existing in our music world. So I can pass it over to Logan.
Hi, everybody. That was really good, Ryan. Wow. I'm Logan. I graduated from this program in 2020. Right at the end of the program is when COVID was starting to hit. So we kind of missed out on the end, but no like celebration or anything. But I had so much fun being a part of the program that Corey has brought me back into to start instructing some things on Ableton. I see that it says Ableton Expert. That means a lot. Thank you very much. I enjoyed this program so much. I came into this program with zero experience in a studio, zero experience using DJ equipment. And like right from beginning to end, it was the best experience I could have ever been a part of, honestly. I had way too much fun. And here I am now instructing some things that I learned over the year. I only came into this program with about just under a year of experience in electronic music production. I put my nose to the ground and grinded and became good at what I was able to do and firm in my craft. So you can go from having no experience at all into this program into being something that beyond your belief. So it's made for anybody, which is amazing. So yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Awesome. So you'll see the Q&A. Feel free, as I said, pop it in. This session is recorded. So if you miss something or you want to be part of something later on, or you want to forward the recording, you can do that. The agenda here is we'll have a quick overview of the program. We'll talk a little bit about how it works, what to expect. Ryan is going to give us a little virtual tour of the facility. So the classroom, as well as the live room and the control room. And then Logan is going to do a little quick Ableton demo. And then we'll talk a little bit about job opportunities as well as any questions that you might have in the end. So these are just the stats. Really, it's pulled from the website, and the website is down in the right-hand corner. So anytime you want to know anything specific about the program, online is probably your best place to do that. The program is delivered in a few different ways. So due to COVID, as Logan said, we did have to switch gears, and we will be switching back to being, I shouldn't say that. The face-to-face component for audio engineering never went away. So we have had face-to-face sessions ever since we started in September, even in the height of winter and COVID and cases and whatever else. So what we have done is we split it into smaller groups. We do some stuff online, we do some stuff synchronously and some asynchronously. I'll talk about that later, as well as face-to-face. So you will still get your hands dirty per se with the equipment, even if COVID continues in the fall. So yeah, we run September to May every year. There's only 2 pieces of equipment that's needed from your guys' side, and that's the book. You could either choose to get that as a free version, an e-version that you can like download or have access to online. I'm not really sure how that part works, but Corey does. Or you can buy the actual book if you want to be able to like make notes and highlight and, you know, fold pages and stuff like that. And you'll also be needing a pair of headphones. The headphones, you will be talking about it in the first couple of weeks. It's not something that you need first day of class. So you can ask any questions regarding headphones in the first few weeks before you go out and purchase them. Just to give you a rough idea, headphones can really cost however much you want them to cost, but a good pair of headphones will be roughly $150, something like that. It will start at that. So admission requirements, grade 12, and then you need to have your English and then math. And there's lots of different options. If you don't have the sort of set math courses, you could even do an able test for math as well. So there's, you know, lots of different options for you to get into the program. For you who have listened to this before, have looked on the website, the computer fundamentals part has been removed as a prereq, so you no longer have to do that, which is good, which was really like how to save a file and how to rename a folder and stuff like that. So the last 20 years have sort of taken care of that, that knowledge. So we removed it as an entry requirement. So one thing that I want to talk about, the list that we have up right now are all the different modules that the program is built of. So I had no idea when I started this job, which was about 15 years ago, I had no idea that audio engineering was so wide. And I'll let Logan and Ryan speak a little bit more about this, but there's a couple of these things that I just want to touch on. One being the last module, so the AMP 121, which is the Applied Audio Engineering and Production. That is actually a module that sort of runs throughout the entirety of the program. So it's built of 5 capstone projects. And what that means is that you get to choose 5 different projects that you work on. So something that you're really passionate about. Sometimes Corey, who is our main instructor, will decide a couple of them that everyone does the same. In some years, it's a free-for-all for all 5. So it depends a little bit on the COVID situation and other things. But it can be a volunteer opportunity with a concert. So you can use that as one of your capstone projects. Write about it, answer some questions, write an essay. You can do it as a, what is it called? Like a diffuser, like some kind of treatment, wooden treatment or something like that. So you can build something like with your hands and actually build a physical something. So that portion, what I wanted to say was that the 5 capstone projects really run from September until May. It doesn't mean that everything has to happen in April and May. You'll be working on that module throughout the year. The other one that also stands out is a little bit different than the other one is the live sound. So the live sound is when you guys actually put on a full concert during regular years. This year is going to be a little bit different. They're going to do a concert, but it's going to be live streamed. However, hopefully by the time you guys take the program, we'll be able to have concerts again, even if they might look a little bit different, but it's held down at the Mary Irwin Theater at the RCA. And you guys do everything from start to finish. So anything from finding the bands, to doing the promotion, to working with a graphic designer, to planning tickets, what you're going to charge, how you're going to pull it off, who's going to do what. And then part of the concert, you will be rotating around to front of house, and I don't know what the other one is called, back of house, or bringing out rooms and stuff like that. But that one is that one is not held Monday through Thursday from 9 till 4. That one will be outside of your regular school hours per se. So I'll let Logan and Ryan fill you guys in a little bit more on the different modules and a little bit on what they include.
Ryan, sorry, Helena, which modules were we at here? You just went through live sound.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. So yeah, if you want to speak to either the modules or some of these key topics that
Cool.
that the modules entail, so I'll flick back and forth between these a little bit, but
Awesome.
just giving them a little bit more better of idea, like, you know, what's mixing and mastering and what does MIDI actually stand for and stuff like that.
Cool. So in programming and digital recording, this is where I've been kind of coming into the classroom and teaching about, as well as implementing a new program that we've been learning about, is learning how to DJ. For those who are coming into this program that do want to learn how to use CDJs, we now do have CDJs in our program available to use. So that's something that I will be teaching to those to learn about them. When it comes to digital recording, modern DAWs, a DAW is a digital audio workstation, which is Ableton. Ableton is a industry standard, as well as Pro Tools, which is one that you're going to come to learn about within this program. Pro Tools is more of the recording side of things, whereas Ableton is working with MIDI, so actually drawing in notes. Like MIDI is basically telling your computer to do something at a certain time with a certain sound. But MIDI can be used within not only audio, but within lights, which another man from our program, Rusty, will be here to teach you a couple things about. Rusty's great, and you guys will love him a lot. Yeah, that's basically covering that when it comes to digital audio recording. Digital audio recording is actually using microphones to record different types of instruments as well as vocals. For those who want to come in to learn about modern hip hop and what are good microphones to learn, you guys will love this, absolutely love this program. Ryan?
Thanks, Logan. Sounds good. All right, so a few of the other things that we focus on in this program, I really want people to understand that we focus on the actual science of sound. So how sound is traveled, how sound is created, how sound can propagate from a source into different objects to create certain reverberations that, as engineers, we are looking to sort of simulate. Other things that we focus on with that are acoustic treatments, like Logan mentioned, lots of work with the digital audio workstations. On top of the science of sound, we also focus on how the human ear actually perceives sound. So how you can almost manipulate people to feel certain emotions or reminisce about certain memories or give music that certain three-dimensional feel that makes music what it is and makes those ideal hits what you want to listen to. So other things that we kind of can go about, I mentioned it really briefly in my introduction, is business planning. We can help you obtain anything from self-employment to your own employment from a local company or anywhere you're looking to pursue. Lots of work with Pro Tools and Ableton, like Logan mentioned. Those are going to be the top two programs that you work with when you're here. And those are the industry standard programs. You go to any recording studio, they're going to be operating on the most recent version of Pro Tools or an equivalent like Ableton. Also, like Logan referred to, if you're writing, you're generally going to be using that Ableton sort of vibe. Is there anything we missed, Helena?
I don't think so. I think that explains a lot. The industry standards module, which is the AMP 116, is a lot about the music business. So like, what is it actually like if you want to run your own show, or if you want to promote a show, or how do you write a resume? What should you talk about on an interview? So it's a lot about the sort of like around the scenes, not specifically the muse, like not specifically in the classroom, but more so around it. So one question that I do know that we get lots of times is, do you have to be able to play an instrument or sing, or do you have to be a musician to take this program? And no, you don't.
No, not at all. I'll take over for 1 second here when it comes to this. I've been playing music since I was 6 years old. I started playing guitar when I was 6 years old. My fingers were too small to make notes, so I just played the bottom two strings of my guitar for the longest time. When I was 10 years old, I got a good music teacher, kind of like Jack Black on School of Rock, who was just so motivated and wanted us to be like the best we could, like just always had us rocking out and playing shows. It was the best. When it comes to this program, I watch people who have never touched any sort of music production in their life get the biggest, most inspiring smiles I've ever seen, learning how to put things together. And it's something that this program is for people who are beginners to people who are experts, because a guy like Corey and Ryan as well, they know the things, how to elevate your game to make it a lot better. For myself, I knew how to play music. I knew how to write music a little bit, but I wasn't anywhere near. I had no clue what sidechain compression was before this program started. Afterwards, it just blows up. That might sound like rocket science to you now, but that's one of the first things you'll learn when it comes to this program. So it doesn't matter what level you're at, beginner to expert, you will find benefits coming from this program.
Yeah, and I can just add on to that, being with the program now for a few years and taking the program in 2012. So back in 2012, when I took the program, there were a lot more musicians that played tangible instruments than there are in, let's say, the last 3 years. And that has a lot to do with just the trends of what music has become. A lot of music is being created digitally. It is being created at home on your own computer. It is being created as solo artists. You can do collaborations now through distance. For example, we are actually doing a mini collaboration right now in our Zoom call. So little things like that, and just that extra bit of trend with what people are listening to has really impacted what people are sort of playing when they come into the class. Now it's more 50-50. So.
Awesome, thanks guys. So the graduation requirements, you have to pass each module with 70%. And I can say it's, if you show up to class and you put some effort in, you will pass with 70%. So it's tends to be, if you don't show up to class, you don't hand in any of your assignments, you decide to do something else instead of doing some homework or participating in a Zoom call, then you might have some challenges. But as long as you show up in class, you'll have plenty of time to work on all your projects and assignments and stuff in class. You won't run out of time. There's not a lot of homework in this class. If you spend your time well in the classroom, you shouldn't have to do much at home at all. Okay, so how does it work and what to expect? So I'll talk a little bit about synchronous learning, asynchronous learning, and face-to-face. So face-to-face is obviously how the program has been running in the past. So it's being in the classroom with all the students and the instructor, guest speakers, whoever, visitors, whoever shows up in the classroom. Needless to say, at the end of last year and this year, that's been a little bit different. So we have delivered the program in 3 different ways. So synchronous learning is online, but when you meet at a certain point. So you say Monday morning at 9 o'clock, everyone logs into Moodle, which is our online classroom, and then logs into Zoom. And then we have a session in Zoom similar to what we have now, but it will be a lot more interactive both ways. So you'll be asked questions, you can answer, you can sort of toss and turn different subjects around. Asynchronous learning online is when you watch things like a YouTube video or a video that's a lecture video that's recorded, and then you do X amount of work that is tied to that activity. So it can be doing an assignment, writing an essay, it can be answering a quiz, it's a lot of different aspects to the asynchronous learning, but it means that you can do it whenever you want to. So if you want to do it at 3 a.m., have at her. It's not a set time and day. You will still have deadlines to meet, but the asynchronous work can be done whenever you want. And then obviously the face-to-face is when you're in the classroom, hands-on. You'll be working on the computers in the lab, you'll be working on the boards in the control room, and we have plenty of different things in the live room to play with and play on, and and jam out too. So lots of different options with that one. This is just a little quick one about what each station looks like. Pro Tools is installed on all the stations, and I believe Ableton is pretty much on all the stations too, I think. And then, so you have your own computer station in the classroom that is yours for the rest of the class. Then in the live room, we have an ISO booth, a ton of different instruments. Ryan is going to go through it here with you guys and show you around a little bit. And then the control room is where the big boards are. And those are some of the boards that we have in the classroom. We also have, this is by no means the full equipment list, but just to give you guys an idea about what you get to play with while you're here. So Ryan, I'm actually going to stop sharing so that hopefully when I stop sharing and I stop talking, that you're going to go big on the screen. That's my hope. So Ryan, go ahead. Show us the facility.
All right, let's go big. So can't
hear you.
Can't hear me? How can you not hear me? Can you hear me now?
Were you covering your mic?
Yeah,
no.
We can hear you now.
Maybe. Okay, my apologies. I'm on my cell phone right now, so obviously, like Helena was just currently doing, I won't be sharing my screen, but I'll be going back and forth from the front and reverse sort of camera on my phone. So first things first that I will show you is this is a program that we use. So this is Pro Tools. Pro Tools looks a little bit ancient, but believe me when I say this is not an ancient program. This is a really high processing capability program. So I'm not going to really show you the ins and outs of it. I just wanted you to actually see it here. So you have, everything that you need to work with here. You have your transport window here that I'm dragging around here. And you also have another window. This is your mix window, and this simulates the consoles that I will show you in our control room. So you'll also see in front of me, there is this is called a Midi keyboard. So when you're doing lots of the work that Logan does, this is often one of the hardware pieces that you will use as well. So you will see behind me, I hope, that we have a lovely computer lab. All of these stations are equipped with the most recent version of Ableton, as well as the most recent version of Pro Tools. So lots of room for everybody. However, right now, COVID has made it so, only so many people per spot. This is the instructor station. Beautiful thing.
It's sideways, Ryan.
Oh, so here, this is one of our old consoles. This is a Tascam from about 1973. So this is the reel-to-reel that you're going to be using in, I believe it's AMP 118, and that's your analog unit. So this actually uses the tangible tape that you would see, cassette players using and lots of the old artists using in the past. So forgive the lighting in here. It's a little bit dark, but that is just because there's work being done in this room. This is our control room. I'll just give you a sort of zoomed out look. And here, I won't turn it sideways again, but here is our main sort of control room position or seat, as you would. So we've got focal monitors, we've got Neumann monitors. We have 2 screens that allows you to have more flexibility in your mixing. There are tons of graphic EQs. We have a separate monitor world there. And to my right is more processors, our brand new SSL Matrix 2 16-channel console. This is the highest of the highest industry standard for consoles. This is where the Beatles, Dr. Dre, and people like that are getting their sound from. Not only that, these are the type of headphones that they listen to, and these are some of the microphones that those type of people use. So we have just a basic Neumann here, very fancy Telefunken TF. This microphone's probably worth more than everything I own. And we have some more Neumanns here. These are called paired stereo condensers. So during your mic placement module, you get to play with a lot of these. And behind me here is our mic sort of storage and shelf. I won't open all of these for you, but I will say that each of these cases has different microphones for different purposes that use different specifications and pick up different frequencies with a different polar pattern that allows you to capture the sound or sounds that you're aiming for. So this is our lovely control room. You'll see that it has a window. You can also see me there. It's an awkward reflection, but usually when the lights are off and the lights are on in the other room, this allows you to see what is happening in our live room, which I will take you to very quickly right now. So you'll see these rooms are connected. There's that window I was speaking of, and the lights just turn on automatically when I come in. It's kind of cool. We have an acoustic drum set, a couple more mixing consoles, electric guitars, headphone amplifiers, analog mixing consoles, a really brand new, awesome Roland Phantom 8 keyboard. And one of the cool highlights of this room is our ISO booth. So what this ISO booth does is it isolates the artist and whatever you're looking to capture in the sound. So when you go inside this booth, which I'll take you into right now, you'll see that it is fully soundproofed. It is well lit. It's nice and cozy. And this is where a lot of magic happens. This is where some vocalists can work. You can do sample capture in here. It's a really fun little room. Does get a little bit awkward when you spend more than 5 minutes in there though, just because of the lack of sound that you'll hear in there due to the acoustics. So we have more instruments. You can see here, a couple guitars, more keyboards, drums, lots of cables, a lovely wall that we use during times of COVID, and mic stands until the cows come home. We also have an electronic drum kit and lots of speakers, PA monitors. We have a Bose tower, subwoofers, and like I said, more acoustic paneling. So back to the classroom. I think that's all I really have to show you. Helena, you can let me know if I missed anything.
No, I think that's good. It's a quick little quick go around there. So I'm going to go back to sharing. Whoa, which one am I sharing? That one, I think. Too many things on my thing here. So yeah, so those were just a quick one. And as Ryan said, there's plenty of other things that are sort of tucked away in storage rooms and whatever. So just to give you guys a sort of an idea of what you'll be looking at and what you'll be working with. So let's see. So Ableton, Logan, you're up. I'm going to stop my sharing and turn off my mute, and then I'll see if Logan can start his sharing. And
all right, cool. All right, so I should be able to, oh, it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Okay, let me do something.
Cool.
Logan, I am going to make you host.
Nice. I'm honored.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So now I should be able to. Cool. So I'll go here. Sure. Now, can you guys see my Ableton project now? Yeah. Are we getting sound through? Let's just make sure. Are we? Hold on here. Screen sharing. I should be getting sound through. Am I getting sound? No sound? No sound? No sound? Cool. One moment here. More. I think I might be able to share sound. Sure. All right, cool. Maybe now? Sound now? Still no sound? It should be coming through. Oh, I think, oh wait, that's what I have to do. I think I might have to go through my preferences and use an output Zoom audio device. That's what it is. Now sound, right? There you go. Cool. So welcome, guys. Like I said, I've been using Ableton now for about, oh goodness, just over a year and a half. So I kind of like progressed fairly quick with Ableton, but I also put in the hours. It was not something that I just came into and like had a full understanding of. When I first open it up, this is what you see, and it looks like a rocket ship, and you have no clue of what's going on. And so when I started making music, I started with what did I start with? GarageBand. So it was what came with my laptop. I have a MacBook Pro here. I also have a PC, but that's new, and I'm still getting everything put onto that to transfer over. But I started with a MacBook. It came with GarageBand, and I fell in love with music by going to a rave, and I was like, oh my goodness, like had an epiphany on the dance floor. Like, this is what I want to do. I love music so much. I knew my life would be involved in music. I just didn't know how. So I was in business school, and then I was at a rave, and I was like, I know what I want to do. I want to DJ. I want to produce. I figured it out. And so I finished my business school, and then I came to Okanagan College. Here we are. So I went from GarageBand to Logic Pro, and then from Logic Pro to Ableton. And when I first came on Ableton, I looked at it and said, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I really can't. And within 3 days, I swear 3 days, it became like, wow, this is actually the most useful stuff I've come across. Ableton is actually a lot simpler than it looks. For when you first look at it, it looks tough, but it's very organized. Just like you guys can see my mouse, right? Yeah. You see my mouse? Cool. So just like Ryan, when Ryan was showing you the mixing consoles, it's the same thing when it comes to these faders. It's same idea. Even when you add more audio tracks, it's the same idea when you see all the faders. It's just like Pro Tools. Everything like Pro Tools, FL Studio, most DAWs, when it comes to digital audio workstations, will have a similar layout when it comes to a mixing window. When it comes to Ableton, though, the beautiful thing about Ableton is not only is it, sorry, I'll just make it look like a normal DAW for a second. Not only is it a DAW, a digital audio workstation, but it's also an instrument that can be used in a live performance. I'm not somebody that can really explain to you how people do use it in performances, but I can tell you that it's used through triggers, looping, and a lot of things here. So in these columns here, in your MIDI columns, and in your, oh, this thing keeps coming into my screen here. I wonder if I can hide this. Anyways, I'll just pretend it's not there. So in this window here, you can actually throw up samples into these boxes here, samples as well as WAV files, as well as MP3 files. So a WAV file is an audio file. It's a crisp audio file that when you export from Ableton, it will come out to be a WAV file. Compressed more into a smaller file, it will become an MP3 file. So most of the stuff you hear on, or all the stuff rather, that you hear on Spotify, that you hear on Apple Music, they're all MP3 files. So you're not actually hearing it the exact way that the producer made in the studio. It's a compressed file that's never going to sound as good as it will when you're in a studio. When you go into the studio at Okanagan College for the first time and you hear crisp music, it will absolutely blow your mind how much better it sounds in a real studio where it's just being produced until or it's a lot better than when you hear it on Apple Music and Spotify. It'll blow your mind. It's actually quite the experience. If I click tab, I'll show you, this is the MIDI side. So when Ryan was talking about how Pro Tools is not meant for MIDI, and that, like I said, that it's not meant for MIDI, it looks outdated and old, whereas Ableton is really easy to use for MIDI, and that's why people choose to use it. There's a lot more functionality when it comes to Ableton for MIDI than other DAWs. I can show you that I name my stuff funny things, I'm sorry. So within Ableton, as soon as you download it, I believe that there is over 70,000 samples available for you to use. So on the computers at our school, you will come to realize, like, oh my goodness, there's so much stuff I can create without having to go online and download packs and plugins. You can see in mine that I do have lots of packs and plugins and things to use. This is something that you don't need right off the bat. Thing about Ableton is that it's such an amazing DAW that it supplies you with a lot of stuff that you can use for mixing and mastering. There's a lot of people out there that don't even bother buying packs like Waves or other mixing and mastering packs. They will go with the stock Ableton plugins because this DAW is designed to be the best of the best. You pay the money for it, and it gives back what you pay for it, which is, You pay the extra and it gives you the extra. Max for Live is also an interesting thing that Ableton does. So they let users of Ableton create their own plugins, audio effects, instruments, and then you can go onto the Ableton website and purchase them off there and add more to it. So it's just something that Ableton kind of goes the extra mile compared to a lot of other DAWs. They have a lot of extra perks, basically. So that's something that attracted me to it, knowing that it was an industry standard with all these great things that I could use to create. So when I came in, I just put this together today. I will play this for you. I know there's a lot of people out there that want to learn how to create beats. Hold on, I can probably see here in our Zoom call. Can you guys put a hand up if any of you are familiar with DAWs or have used or have done any electronic music production? And I'm not talking about electronic music. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Cool. I'm seeing all those come up. So there's some people. Yeah, Ableton might look like a rocket ship. If you are using FL, that is okay. I'm in a group and my music partner uses FL and we work back and forward. FL is becoming more of an industry standard. It's actually becoming better than what it was prior. It's actually becoming more respected in the industry for the things that people are producing out of it now. So I will just don't save that, and I'll just play this. So when you first come into this program, you'll probably be able to, within, what would be a good thing? Within a month, you'll be able to put things like this together for you hip hop heads out there. I don't make beats that often. I produce electronic music. I love dubstep. I love rhythm. I love the heavy tear out, lots of the heavy stuff in EDM. Whereas I also just love melodic music as well. So this is a MIDI file right here. You can see that there's a lot going on, a lot of little white squares. But these white squares, if you look at right here, it's basically just a piano. For those who have never worked in it all, this is basically just a piano tilted on its side. So if I click, if I have my little headphone icon lit up here and I click, you can hear the different noises being made. I just have it so it's chords. So, and I'll solo it. You can hear it. It's pretty. I like melodies. I like pretty things. I don't like all this grungy and gross stuff going on all the time. It's not who I am, but I just like, I think my music appreciation comes from learning how to play guitar at a young age and just being introduced, you know, to Frank Sinatra, to Nas, to Louis Armstrong, to like all over the board from like a really young age. It just gave me kind of a different appreciation of music. I'll also show you, going from, like I said, within a month, you'll probably be able to put productions like this together if this is what you guys are into. But I'll show you quick what my work progressed from. That's a month into Ableton. I'll show you about a year and a half real quick. So going from a month to a year and a half, my skills absolutely elevated a mile, and that was because of the hard work and dedication I put into this. The beautiful thing about this program at Okanagan College is that you can go in for whatever reason in audio you want to go in for. There's people in this program that will go in for the reason being they want to go and learn how to produce shows. That's a whole program within our course, is learning how to produce shows and how to have like a good show. You can go into the program learning, I want to, like, let's say I want to come into this program, I want to throw cables for my life. That's live sound, throwing cables, you know, like there's people that want to do that. You're going to learn how to be the best live sound work engineer, if you'd rather say, for, you know, out of this program. Like, that's the beauty of it, is there's something for everybody. For me, it was to learn how to produce electronic music, how to make it sound good. With Corey will tell you right off the bat, Corey doesn't produce electronic music, but Corey has the skills to make your music go to the next level with mixing and mastering. This guy, when I say Corey Reed is one of the best guys for mastering, it's true. When Corey Reed walks into a room full of engineers, those engineers get quiet. This is who is at our program, you know, that he's going to be helping you guys elevate your game and become better at what you do. Within a year, from going from little beats here and there, I was able to do, which you guys can too, it's all about hard work, to do full productions with original sound design and full-fledged. So this is something anybody can do. It takes a lot of time to learn, but the effort is what counts. So if you're going to put in a little effort, you'll get little results. If you want to come into this program and put all the effort in, you're going to get those results. And that was the thing that inspired me to keep going and keep pushing to be better and better myself. Ryan as well. Ryan plays drums, and I'm sure that as a fellow musician, he pushes himself to get the better results. He doesn't sit around and expect to be the best drummer in the world. So you can come into this program with zero experience, just like I did, where if I had barely any experience with the DAW, I didn't know what sidechain compression is. I didn't know what I didn't know how to mix. I thought mixing was just adjusting volumes. I didn't know there was EQs. I didn't know what an EQ did. These are little things that coming to this program had no clue about, and here I am now. So does anybody have any questions for me? If you do, feel free to ask and I will answer.
Awesome. So yeah, just pop them in the Q&A box, and Logan will we'll make sure that we answer all the questions in the end. So
I can.
Logan, if you could stop sharing so that I can.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome.
If you guys want to hear, if you guys want to hear our works, what my friend Noah and I, so another graduate from my program, Noah and I, here's a good story real quick. Oh, there's a question right on. What job placement plans do you guys have in place? Okay. This might not be a question for me.
I can answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as job placements from us go, it's general. Sorry?
Brian, can you just please say what the question is, because people can't read it?
Oh, okay. So the question is, what job placement plans do we have in place? So from us specifically, we don't have places that we can slot you in directly. However, throughout the program, you're going to meet a lot of people, especially in this local network, that work in the live companies, that work in the local studios. And like Logan was saying, it's the people that put in the work that end up reaping the benefits, sort of thing. So we do know the people. We know a good selection of people. There isn't a guarantee that you'll be slotted into a position right away upon graduation, but we are proud of above a 70% employment rate. And with that being said, it's more likely that you will find work than not find work, especially when you put in the effort, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I would like to just add a little tiny bit to that, and that is that what you probably mean by sort of job placements is sort of what in the university and college world is called co-ops. And because this program doesn't run over like a 2 or 4 year period, it's not eligible for co-op terms. So that's sort of like the backstory of why we don't actually have designated co-op terms. But as Ryan said, if you're interested in working in live sound, then we have plenty of opportunities for you to work in live sound. You can start by volunteering, and that usually later on leads to paid gigs or potentially a job in the end. If you are interested in doing film post-production stuff, like we can hook you up with Evan at Empire Sonic, so you could go and help him out with the project or something. If you want to, I don't know, work a live gig, like we've had students when Center of Gravity was still a thing in Kelowna, that, you know, they were helping out at Center for Gravity for the whole weekend. So there's plenty of opportunities for you, even though they're not official per se. So that is one thing that I do have to say about Corey, our main instructor, and the other instructors as well. But Corey is very student-centered in his way of teaching, and the program is very much set up as a student-centered learning opportunity. So it is really what you want out of it is what you get out of it. So if you want to excel, you will excel. And the opportunities are there for you. And but that's the biggest difference between college, university versus high school, is that it is really up to you. You put in the effort and you get the payout.
For those, or for the one that asked there, do we use Ableton for digital sampling? Absolutely, yes, we do. I'll teach you guys how to pull samples, how to chop samples, how to make any sort of samples you'd like, how to pull old music. Let's say like you like an old record and like a beat of an old record. I'll show you how to pull that, manipulate it, and make it completely different so you can actually monetize it as well and sell it on stores like Apple Music and Spotify.
So I'll do the last question here. Someone asking if we have smaller courses that are focused on different things, such as Ableton. If you're working, like if you have a job or you have a career, you have you are a student in a different program. We do not have it as an elective in the academic side of the house per se. So even though the certificate is a certificate program, to receive the certificate and receive the credits for it, you have to take all the modules for it. So currently we don't have it as an elective, sort of like in the art side of the world, but I love your thinking. So I will definitely check out and see if that is something that we could do in the future. So Logan, did you have one other song or one other clip or something that you wanted to go over?
I just wanted to say real quick about a thing about this program as well. I'll just tune back into here. So this is a track by myself and my friend. So I put this together on Ableton where my friend Noah is on FL. Noah and I met, never knew Noah before the program at OC. I was new to Kelowna. I've been here for nearly 2 years now, but I was new to Kelowna when I came into this program, like right out of the bat, moved to Kelowna, started school. Noah and I met through this program. We found that we both liked the same things. We both found that our sounds collided in the best way, and we became best friends. And we decided that this is a project called Synchronous, so Sykonauts. You guys can search us up on SoundCloud, Apple Music, Spotify will come up. You can see the works that we were able to make over the year at school, as well as like now we're continuing on. We actually had shows lined up for 2020. We were planning to be doing shows through the summer all the way till Christmas until COVID happened. But now we're hoping for early as fall to actually resume and do our shows. So like the thing with this program is that I came in knowing nobody, and at the end we were a big family. So not only are you going to come into this program and experience school, and it doesn't feel like school because it's so much fun. You're going to just enjoy learning so much. You'll also meet a whole group of people like-minded like you who are interested in the same things, and yeah, you're going to love it. So that's about it. I don't know if I can probably end this here. Stop share. Cool. And then I can click it one more time here, share, and share this. So if you guys see my screen now, this is our SoundCloud. If you guys want to come find us, we have a new mix dropping on Friday. If you guys are interested in the electronic music, we're actually releasing a new mix with lots of unreleased music from us as well as other artists. Yeah, super exciting. So that's all I got for you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Logan.
You betcha.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to sharing. We just have a host disabled participant sharing. Oh, can you make me host again, Logan?
How do I do that there?
Go into participants.
Cool.
Go to panelists. Click on little dots next to my name.
Or make host. There you go.
Ooh, look at that. So many fancy options I got there now. Okay, I think it's this one. Okay, so we got the demo. Okay, so job opportunities. As we talked about, and as I said in the first part, there's so much to audio engineering that I didn't know was audio engineering. I thought, maybe this is totally naive, but I thought it was the board with the little knobs and the little dials. I thought that was like audio engineering. It is not. So there's tons of different job opportunities out there. Many of them are on contract basis or per gig or per hour or whatever, but there's also full-time positions out in the community. So we have Rusty, who we talked about a couple of times. He's like the lighting guru in Kelowna, and I think actually in big part in BC. You guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but he is a pretty high up lighting guy, has been doing this for 20 plus years. He works down at the Kelowna Communities Theatre. Yep, as the technical director down there. We also have another grad that you will also be meeting during Live Sound down at the RCA. Josh is his name, and he works as the technical director at the RCA. And we also, there's another grad up in Vernon at the center, what is it called? The Art Center or something up in Vernon?
Center for the Arts.
There we go. That was close. So there are definitely full-time, like continuing positions as well. But say that you're a live engineer and you run shows, or you, whatever you called it, Logan, chuck cables or something.
Yeah, live sound engineer, sure.
Then you might be working with, say, SW or HSP, Horizon Productions. And be their sound tech and work for different concerts and different festivals or whatever coming to town. Yeah, right.
NHP, New Horizon Productions.
There
Those guys.
HSP is Health and Safety Plan, and I do a lot of those nowadays. So I'm like, it doesn't sound right. That's funny. Anyway, thank you.
Another TLA.
Yeah. So so on the screen right now, you have a few that are different job opportunities out in the industry. Many students, though, I shouldn't say many, but there's at least a couple every year that decide that they love the program and they love aspects of the program, but they decided that they really wanted to go in deeper into something. So Ryan, for an example, took the program in 2012. He loved the whole program, I think, otherwise he wouldn't be back teaching parts of it, but he really liked the whole business aspect of music and decided to take it further and go and get his business degree so that he could use his music and the business together to explore those options. So what I'm saying is that there's students that go on and do something else. Some of them have gone into electronic engineering afterwards, so gone into the 2-year diploma also offered at OC. And quite a few students, or quite a few former students, have opened their own businesses. So we have a couple of people that run their own studios. We have plenty of people that work in the post-production and sort of like in the contract world, film industry stuff. Am I missing something, boys? I don't know.
No, I wouldn't really say. Just to add on with that, I guess, is just on our board here, this is a list of business cards as well as the Empire Sonic sort of photo, but these are current alumni, so previous graduates that took this program and are now operating either their own company or out of another pre-existing company. So they exist and they're there, and if you ever need audio help, there's some here, or you could potentially get yourself on this wall yourself.
Yeah, so many options for sure in the audio industry. So if you have any questions after this session, or if you're watching the recorded session, feel free to reach out to either myself or Corey. As I said, I am administration, schedules, fee, behind the scenes. Don't ask me any technical stuff about audio because I can't answer them. However, Corey knows everything about the program. And if he doesn't know the answer, he definitely knows who knows. So he can definitely get the answer. He also does quite a few one-on-one sessions. So if you're interested and you want more like one-on-one time with someone and have more of a dialogue, then please feel free to contact Corey. He will be happy to have you come in during an afternoon or a morning or whatever works for you guys to have a one-on-one session. And we also have something called Student for a Day, which is a little bit tricky right now during COVID, but usually what happens is you can come into the classroom, you can hang out in the classroom for a whole day, you get to work with the students that are there, you get to see what they're doing, you get to play around with the equipment and sort of see what, if this is something for you, you get the opportunity to ask questions. I can also say that I have been doing this for, I've been at OC for 15 years and been part of the A&P program pretty much the whole time. And I can tell you that the students keep coming back and coming back and coming back into the classroom. So, you know, if they graded last year, if they graded 5 years ago, they still show up in the classroom. One thing that we do give all our students is the opportunity to come back after the program is done and use the equipment. And, you know, if you have, like, say that you want to record, you want to record a song with your band, you have the opportunity to come in and do that. Again, obviously right now it's a little bit tricky because we can't have too many people in certain places and whatever else, but on regular basis, you do have the opportunity to come back and explore and use the equipment. Yes, so the question is, can we do student for a day at the moment? We can do a modified student for a day at the moment. So please email Corey and he will set something up. So if that means coming on a day when maybe we have a smaller class, so all the current students are just going into their last module, and with that is a massive amount of hands-on, like there is no teaching, no lecturing, it's just a lot of mentoring and one-on-one at the moment. So at certain parts of the week or certain parts of the month, we might only have, say, 3 people in the classroom. So then you could probably come in and do a one-on-one session with Corey at that point in time. So yes, contact him and let's make something work. Yeah, I think that's all that I have. Do you guys have any other questions? Anything in the chat box, Q&A box that we haven't answered? No. Ryan and Logan, do you guys have anything that you want to add?
I think the only thing I can really add is just to elaborate off what Logan said about how much the classroom bonds and how much of a group we become. Being a graduate of other programs, courses like the BBA, the business administration, you're very independent and your people are more colleagues. In this classroom, you become friends, and I don't think I've seen it where the graduating group doesn't keep in touch down the road. So it's a really good sort of network to also become. That network becomes part of our network, and that ultimately exponentially expands your own network. So it's a really cool clique to be a part of, is all I really have to say.
Awesome. So we wanted to try to keep this to about an hour, and we're now at 19:58. So we're like 2 minutes to go. So I have to say, I think we did pretty well there. So again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to pop them in the Q&A. We'll hang out for a little bit. If you would rather email me or email Corey, feel free to do that. We will happily take your questions after the session and help you out with anything that anything that you might want or need. So feel free to reach out, and otherwise, I'm going to stop sharing the thing. And thank you very much for attending today, and hopefully you got something out of it. The recording will be posted on the website, so you can watch it later on, and you can pass it on to your friends as well. Logan and Ryan, anything else?
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone, for coming. And it was just awesome to talk to everybody about the program.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for coming, and I'm excited to meet you next year.
Awesome.
Come on down.
Yeah.
Thank you.